This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
We're back at Zappos. It's that time of the week. It's Washington State headed on the road to go to the desert to take on the Wildcats in Tucson. The Cougs are bowl eligible.
Sounds good.
Sounds
good,
great.
doesn't it?
Sounds fantastic. 7th straight year of bowl eligibility. We are going to discount the COVID year.
Absolutely.
And why wouldn't we, for every reason?
Yep.
And so, Cougs are bowl eligible, 7th straight year. Congratulations.
It feels good, Chaz. I mean, I just think it's all the hard work that the team's put in. And, now we don't just set out to say, hey, this is our only goal, but I think it's a byproduct of a lot of hard work. And I think our guys, after the game really, soaked in the moment, and they knew we extended our season. And I think we got a group that really wants to keep playing together, and really for those senior guys that get another opportunity to stay together, I think it's really important.
Yeah, listen, not every team, and there are a lot of bowls. There are more bowls now than there used to be. We're just talking off air. The bowl has become less exclusive. I'm doing air quotes for our radio listeners. But there's still a lot of teams that don't go. There's still a lot of teams that don't get to bowl.
And I hope there's Cougs out there, starting to make the plans. Where the Cougs going to be? Let's take a trip out to L.A. or wherever the Vegas and all those different type of things. So it's an exciting time to be part of the program, and I think it's one thing that I've learned too, coaching at lower levels, just how great of an experience the whole week is for the bowl week, and what a reward it is for a great season.
I always think it's kind of funny, for the fan, and I guess I don't hear this a ton in person, so this is a social media thing, right? And I don't know, I take that with the largest grain of salt in the world for what it is. But you bang on a bowl game, you go, this bowl game or that bowl game. Well, the kids get to do it, right?
Yes.
Someone's saying, well, I'm sitting at home on the couch, and why am I watching this game? Which, by the way, you're watching, right? Or listening, or whatever you're doing. You're consuming.
You're investing your time.
Yeah, but the kids they get to go have this experience. They go to L.A., they go to wherever. They go to the Bahamas. They go to wherever.
And maybe people don't know. I mean, it's 5 days, and it's team events, and, there's just a lot of great team bonding and moments. And like I said, there's times in our guys' lives where they'll forget about the scores, and they'll remember the moments. And it's just another opportunity to create some really unique moments for a team. And trust me, last year at the Sun Bowl, coming off the COVID restrictions, it was like a team bonding experience.
Was it?
Eating together, being around each other. They just do so many different things. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I know at the Holiday Bowl sometimes one of the events is the San Diego Zoo. Well, the San Diego Zoo is great.
Yeah.
When's the next time you're going to go to San Diego Zoo?
There's no question.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I had to come off. They put a sombrero on my head. I had to dance. I mean, my face was beet red. I did everything I could. My daughter saved me, thank goodness. But what a fun time, I think had by everybody.
Although we did confirm the dancing might have gone pretty well. The dancing, as your wife said, she can attest.
There is a skill set behind it.
That's right. There is a foundation
that we like to dwell on. Yes,
there's a foundation. Hey, so you're up 28-0 at half against Arizona State. Kind of a cold day. Yeah. Actually got foggy and got even colder.
It was a Palouse day, I like to say. And as the fog started rolling, I said, "Here we go. These Arizona teams. Here it comes from last year." But
that's right.
A very dominant performance in the first half. Yeah. And really a dominant defensive performance maybe until the last 6 minutes. I mean, I think it wasn't anything that was just all the takeaways, but it was dominant stops. It was creating field position. It was our guys flying around. So, maybe sometimes a little harder on the defense, but proud of what the body of work that they put in this year has been really incredible. And it's 2 games in a row to start lightning fast out of the gate offensively. So great complimentary football in the first half. And, unfortunately, we hit a little bit of the cruise button. But at the end of the day, we came out with a hard-fought win against a good Arizona State team.
Do you think that there's a mental tendency to do that? Is that a human nature?
I think it's one of the things as coaches and young people, we've talked about this week to want to, when you're at halftime and it's that score, when you come back out at 0-0, you got to go reestablish yourself. You got to have that competitive nature, and, we're still working at creating and improving on that. So as far as our best 60 minutes is still out there, but to beat a good Arizona team on the road in the pack, a team that's very motivated, is going to take all 60 minutes.
We'll do the full Arizona deep dive here in the next segment, but it is a good Arizona team.
Yeah.
It's a team that their record's not great. it's not horrible.
Correct.
Right? They have a chance. They want a bowl also. Like, that's on the table for them too. And so anyway, we'll talk about Arizona, but Nakia Watson, I don't want to forget. Nakia Watson was fantastic again. Back-to-back 100-plus
Yeah, I think he's really set the table the last couple of weeks just for our offensive success, and I think it's no surprise. You run the ball, we have success on offense. And I think it opens up a lot of different things. I think Cam, really managed the game very well and took what was there for him. And, we're just getting, contributions from a lot of different people. But every time someone brings up Nakia, the first thing that comes up to my mind is the O-line and what they're doing, and a lot of pieces moving around, and Grant Stevens to move from right guard to left tackle and to take on that challenge and feel like we're not missing a beat and still getting better. I think it's just a credit to him, and Connor Gomnis is the glue of that group, and Falili's getting better each week, and Christian Hilborn, and then Quinn McCarthy to step in for Make when he went down was important reps for him. So every time I hear Nakia and the running backs, I always click back to know our offensive line is working their tail off.
In a really hard circumstance. I mean, Grant Stevens has played right guard, left tackle, and right tackle. Brennan Jackson just walked in here to Zephos. That's the round of applause. We'll talk to Big Brennan here in just a moment. But Grant Stevens, I mean, what a grad transfer. What an incredible utility man for you to play three different spots on the line at key spots, important spots.
And it was fun. I was going around because I've had a couple people text me this week. Just Grant did a press thing, just after practice or after the game, and just how impressed everyone was with Grant and his maturity and his mindset and just his view of coming in from a different program into here, and just how much he loves and respects our guys, our coaches, and how we've done it. And feels like he's been here his whole career.
That's great.
And, just the other day to be like, Coach, I wish I had one more year. Like, those are the things that I really appreciate because sometimes when you're in the war and trying to get better and scratching and clawing, those are the little things, even as coaches, you need just to reset and say, hey, we're trying to do it the right way.
Well, I was at practice this morning, and I always appreciate the privilege of viewing it. And without getting in specifics, very broadly, I thought it looked like the guys were having fun.
Yeah.
And you can't always say that with 2 games left.
Yeah, I told them after practice, I said, guys, the way we broke down, because we always do some things and have an immediate break. I said, it gave me chills. I mean, your energy and just your life and how you're coming out and working each and every day, it's a credit to, the type of mentality that our guys have.
It's awesome. And what you're talking about, they all get together, right? It's the players, too. It's not the coaches.
That's right.
Coaches are out, and the players get together, whole team, about 100 guys, give or take, right? And they say COUGS, Cougs, and they, the whole thing. And so it's very, it really is rah-rah team spirit. Right?
And one of those things that we've done, too, is so we've done studies on it, right? So when you have a very positive, uplifting, efficient team break and everyone sprints out to their positions, that practice is really, really high.
Huh.
So it's amazing how that one connected moment leads to connected success as you go throughout practice. So it was one of our main emphases during fall camp, and every once in a while I'll talk about it. Hey, our team break wasn't good, and then now look at our practice. Now, hey, when it is elite and it has energy, man, it just trickles down into everything that we do. So we've talked about it, but this was one of those just organic ones this morning that guys were just fired up, ready to go.
So you kind of practiced even that.
We talk about it. We detail it. We show it to them. In fall camp, we would say, hey, what's the difference between this team break? And then we'd show them a couple different ones.
You did the film scout on the team
break?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Miss Oli, she's on top of it. Yeah, so we film all that stuff. So I think it's important for guys to see why every detail matters. But it's good for, not that you're an outsider, but someone not connected directly to say, hey, that was a cool break, and those guys had a lot of juice today.
Well, if you were in the bubble, right? Yeah. And so when you're in a building like that, I mean, you can feel an energy, right? Yeah. There are about 100, or we'll call it 120, whatever people in there. And I mean all in. You're talking about, there's trainers and there's everybody. You feel what it's like, right? Yep. It's not always like that.
Correct.
Especially this deep in the year. You can start high, but it's hard to sustain that. And football can be hard.
It is, and there's ups and downs to every season. And remember, it's young people. I mean, they might have just had a test last night they're studying for, or there's a lot of things on their mind. And it's been a challenging week just kind of across the country and in our region. So there's a lot of things on their plates. And every once in a while, young people have a down day, but to feel that energy was just, these guys are ready.
Yeah, this was an escape. It has been a challenging time nationwide, from Charlottesville to Moscow. Right, and our hearts go out to everybody involved in that. And this is the way. And Coach Atuaya in particular, right? Nusi Milani, right? Guys.
Dejan Strib was Fred's one of the wide receivers. I mean, it's been a challenging week, and and I said it early in the week too, though, that every once in a while you got to take the coach hat off, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of fans that they see our guys 12 times a year, and that's the guy that scores the touchdowns, and that's how they know him. As coaches and mentors, we get to see them 365 days a year, and we get to know the people and the person and what makes them tick and so special, and we get to know their stories. And I think, we've tried to, as a creative department, is to let everyone know about the person behind the number and the player. So I think that's kind of what resonates this week. And obviously Coach Mark is, we're thinking about him. We're praying for everyone at Virginia and Idaho, and they have all of our support.
No doubt. Let's do this. Take a break. Come
Absolutely.
back. We'll talk ball after this. Cougs against Arizona. We go to Tucson, Arizona tomorrow for an 11 o'clock kick Pacific time on Saturday.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Carbon monoxide detectors save lives because if kerosene, propane, natural gas, or wood isn't burned properly, dangerous carbon monoxide may result, and it can build up indoors without you knowing, as it's invisible and odorless. So protect yourself by installing UHL-approved carbon monoxide detectors. If carbon monoxide is present, the detector will alert everyone to get out of the house, where you can safely call 911 for help. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
To the 50. To the 40. He's gone.
The best in college football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30. 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network. Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Back here live at Zeppo's talking ball with Coach Dickert as we get set for the Arizona Wildcats. They've had an interesting season in a number of ways. They're 4-6. They're 2-5 in the pack. 4 of their last 5 games have been against top 12 teams in the AP poll.
Yeah, rough stretch.
Yeah. So, and they have not fared well, right? But they did just win in the Rose Bowl, and that's a very good win, right? They ranked 9th in America was UCLA. So they start out with a win over San Diego State. They lose to Mississippi State, beat North Dakota State. Easier said than done.
Which I have a lot of respect for and credit for, and watched that game. It was a tough, hard-fought win.
31-28, right? And then lost to Cal, and then hammered Colorado, but then Oregon, UW, USC, Utah, hard stretch.
Yeah, hard stretch.
Lost those 4 games and then just won at UCLA.
So it's hard to kind of put them into perspective a little bit, but at the end of the day, the strength of their team is their offense.
Yep.
And, the games or the way people have beaten them, 49-42, right? 42-38, high-scoring affairs where they just really have outscored them. So it's really a team that's kind of a tale of two sides a little bit. But I would say besides USC, I think they got the best offensive skill in the league that we've faced. And they've been rolling through a lot of different people, and they don't play as many guys as a lot of people will, but very talented on the edges.
They scored 37 against the Trojans.
Yep.
I mean, they can. And so Jacob Cowing, Dorian Singer, and Tataroa McMillan, who's their top recruit in the history of their football program.
Yeah.
Those are their 3 main targets. Tanner McLaughlin is their tight end. all those guys, really gifted players.
Yeah, and I think the Cowan kid, I mean, he's a transfer from UTEP, but he's electric. I think on the latest, mock drafts and stuff, he's a first-round pick.
Is that right?
Very much of your Coug fan remind you of Travell, just of the explosiveness that he has when he gets the ball, and he's in and out so fast, and they play him everywhere. So I think he has over 70 catches this year. I mean, he's done an amazing job coming into that program, and 5 was here last year, and he's the take the top off it guy, and the true freshman is leading the league in touchdown catches. So he's a red zone threat. He's a big body. They're throwing it up to him, and he's going out there and making plays, and I think the tight end can stretch it too. So very, very high elite level skill.
Yeah. Their quarterback is a guy named Jayden de Laura.
Yes. Yep.
He's a right-hander. Right?
Yes.
You may have met him once.
We are very familiar with Jayden,
okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Played a couple of years here for Washington State University. So, interesting little storyline there.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline is what it is, but I think the portal has created new opportunities, and that's the one thing I've said all week about it. I think it's a non-story, right? It's guys competing against each other. He moved on. He's doing extremely well.
Yeah.
I would imagine 100% over. He doesn't regret what has happened, and he's out there thriving, and our program has moved on, and we're excited about where we're going. So sometimes change is good for everybody, and that's been the message. But the challenge of Jayden is what he does off script.
Right.
He reminds you of Cam, like when defenses can't tackle him. It's just incredible, and they do things all over the place, and there's some good and the bad when you play that way, but he's one of the best level 2 football throwers that I've been around. And I've been around some good throwers. That just means he can put it in the spots, okay? And I think that's the challenge of what they do, and their offense with Coach Fish is very adamant about taking the ball down the field. So we got to be really good at the corner position, which we've been all season. And then they'll run it just enough to keep you honest.
To what degree is a broken play a planned play? Maybe just generally, not necessarily with Jedd Fisch and Jayden de Laura, but in general, you talk about off script. Well, a guy like de Laura, or at times Cam Ward, right? Like off script is really advantageous to some guys. They're really good at it.
Yeah.
So is it almost sort of pseudo-planned in some way? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, I think I see it the most, Chaz, in probably third down. He's done a lot of third down scrambling and, either finding a guy late by straddling the line or taking off himself. And a lot of their success has been through not just planned plays, but everyone says, hey, let's just try to keep him in the pocket. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. So those things are going to happen. You have to prepare for it and game plan for it. But also, don't panic when he makes a play.
Right.
As people do with Cam, I'm sure, defense, you call the right play, the right pressure, you make someone miss, throws the ball. Okay, next play. Let's keep moving. We know they're talented players, and they're going to make some plays. So I think you don't plan for it, but you understand, hey, we got a playmaker who's going to go out and do some things.
They also have 4 running backs they can use. Yeah. Their lead is Michael Wiley. Their backup is DJ Williams, who started at Auburn and was good.
Yeah, very physical.
Ran for 150 yards against the national title winners, LSU, the Joe Burrow LSU, and then played a good bit at Florida State as well. So you're talking about a premier talented back.
Just the offensive skill is great in general, but the tailbacks, I think, can beat you. The Wiley kid has been very versatile, even in the pass game. And, 32 is very, very physical. And you can see it every time he carries the ball. And he's not looking to avoid contact. He's going to create some contact. So, and I think, a lot like us, I don't know if they knew what they had up front. I know their left tackle is going to be out, and that's going to be a big one because I think he's an NFL player. So how they piece those pieces together, just like us going into the week, will be a big part of their success.
Jordan Morgan, their left tackle, had 21 straight starts. He got injured last game in the Rose Bowl, and he's done for the year. So probably Sam Lange is the guy.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. There's a big debate out there in the NFL about grass versus turf and non-contact. This was a non-contact on turf. Sometimes it's just football, and you can't predict all these things. So, I think as a unit they have a lot of confidence on offense, and like I said, the scores dictate they've really scored on everybody.
How do you feel about grass versus turf? And I guess it probably depends on the quality of the grass.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. 100%. If you can have it, maintain it, keep it that way,
great.
I think grass is great. But I think for the most part, the convenience of having the turf is unbelievable, and it's just like, let's go out there and play and
drainage,
and then everyone can use it a million times over.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. All right. That's Arizona. You mentioned the offense. I don't want to totally glaze over the defense. They actually have a lot of returners in the secondary.
Yes.
Their numbers aren't great.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at I'm going, I remember him. Jerry Roberts gets a bunch of tackles. Manu's been playing really well. Their weak side linebacker had 10 tackles against the Bruins.
Yeah, and speaking of Manu, I just think as a defense they went to playing a lot of young guys. I think they weren't having success, so they went to a bunch of young guys who are playing harder. And they're playing with more care, and they want to be out there. And I think that's what you see a little bit as they've kind of gone throughout their season. So, I think it's interesting, the dynamics, but I think we need to, play with some tempo and try to get them off pace. And, but I thought, 31 was a wrecking ball against UCLA. They couldn't hold them in pass situations off the edge. So, got to find ways to try to handle that matchup. But, they've given up some points this year, and we got to find ways to continue our offensive success.
31 being Hunter Echols, one of the very few players who can claim that he went to high school with Bernard Bell at Cathedral High School. They crossed over. He's a fifth-year guy and transferred, and Bernard, of course, is sixth year, but seventh year here.
I was just going to say, he was probably a sophomore when Bernard was a senior.
So.
Huh?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's what it was. All right, that's Arizona, 4-6, 2-5 in the pack, but again, 2-5 in the pack with about as rugged stretch as it gets in terms of league play. They've got 2 games left. They won a bowl.
Yeah, they're fighting for something. We're fighting to keep climbing in our season. I mean, I think it's going to be a great matchup.
We'll do questions next. We've got write-ins. We've got Twitter. We're live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball. Cougs and Wildcats coming up Saturday.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
And little Billy, and...
Santa, I knew it. You are real. Shh. This is so cool. Can I see your sleigh?
No, I drive a Porsche now. Won it at Northern Quest's Upgrade Your Sleigh giveaway. Good timing, too. That sleigh's nearly 2,000 years old, almost out of warranty.
The Upgrade Your Sleigh Porsche giveaway at Northern Quest. Get 1 free entry daily. Play for even more. Details at northernquest.com.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. This is Cougar basketball.
Gives it to Yaki, right wing. Wants that tie. Has the tie. On the run out, one-on-one. Euro step. Lays it in on the steal.
Tune in all season long as Kyle Smith and the Cougs look to make more noise in the Pac-12.
Yankoff fake, drives in, dunks it down. An exclamation point. Finds his buddy Rodman. He steps into a 3 and has his 3rd.
It's only on your home for Cougar basketball. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Interact with the show. Tweet your questions to Matt Chazanow using the handle @M_Chaz. That's M_CHAZ.
Back here live at Zeppo's Talking Ball with Coach Dickert. It's the Cougs headed to the desert to take on the Wildcats of Arizona. Write-in questions, Twitter questions.
Always our favorite part of the show.
I heard a hot rumor, by the way, that Twitter, like all of Twitter's staff is gone as of tonight, so we'll see if it works tonight. It may not. We got the write-ins for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, all right. Congratulations on being bowl eligible, Coach.
Absolutely.
Yet again. This individual is 0 for 7 as a fan at bowl games, which is a tough stretch.
So I'm going to go on a limb and say we probably don't want him there. Is that what you're saying?
Might be him. Maybe.
No, we need to break the streak. Let's be positive.
Yeah.
We need him there. We need to break the streak.
I love that. Yeah, he's asking for your permission. He says his sister-in-law Joyce says he's not allowed to go. Does he have permission? Asks Dave.
100%. 100%. I'm not superstitious. So all right, let's get Dave there. Let's break this streak and get it rolling. We'll create a new streak.
I love that. I also love that you're not superstitious.
I'm not. I just I'm a pacer, and that's about it. But other than that, it's just, I don't believe in those things.
Yeah, and so the butterfly effect of the broadcaster's jinx is fake, and I appreciate
correct.
that.
If I wear certain socks or certain, not like that, like it just, or if I had a certain meal, I
appreciate that.
Yep,
that's good.
Competitive weakness. We've talked about that. We can't let that creep in.
Don't be mentally weak.
That's right.
You got to stay strong. That's
right.
Charlize Ledger-Walker, one of the great Coug athletes on campus here right now, no doubt. Just past 1,000 points.
Oh, come on, we got to get a round of applause for that. 1,000 points. What a career.
How much?
And just going.
No doubt. How much do players and coaches think about legacy during the season?
Oh, I think it's one of those things that you really don't. She probably didn't even know until someone told her, maybe.
Yeah.
I just think when you're in that moment, you're in what you needed to do to be successful up to that point. I think a lot of those things, the records, the sack totals, or whatever it is, I think, after the season's done or after your career is over, I think you think about some of those things maybe a little bit. But in that moment, I bet she barely even realized she was there. And they celebrated as a team, and I know I've seen her around that she just walked, on to the next. We got the win, and let's keep moving.
How do you decide when to practice in the bubble or on the field? Asks Mary Schneider. Great Coug. As great a Coug as there is.
Yeah. Found a table this week, Mary. It's great.
We let her in this time.
Well, a part of it is, the kind of the circumstance that we're going to be, playing in. So obviously it's going to be 70 and sunny in Tucson. So to be out there with layers on and worried about hands and stuff, like we just don't want to do it at that point.
Well, it might be counterproductive in some way.
Absolutely, yeah. Right? So we just want to make sure they're focused on the environment that they're going to be in. But next week, when we're playing the Apple Cup at home, the boys know we're going to be outside.
Right.
So we try to do that as much as possible. And then every once in a while, when we do No Sweat Thursday, where today is more of a low-tempo, high-mental day. I like doing those inside, so let's not focus on the elements. Let's focus on our job and make sure practice is really clean.
It's getting a little ahead, but how will the team spend Thanksgiving this year?
No, it's great. So the first time, like last year when the game was on Friday, we did the team Thanksgiving meal Wednesday.
Okay.
So the game on Saturday, we're going to actually have a normal Thanksgiving team dinner. So everyone involved with the program, their spouses or their husband or, all the players, we're going to be up in the Cub room. Upstate, and having a great team meal. And then we have some events planned because they don't have school. So Monday, we're going to go to the movies.
Love
Wednesday,
that.
we're going to be right here for the show. The
Yes.
team's going to be in the back
Is
bowling.
that right?
Yeah, it gets really competitive back there now.
I bet.
So
Love
if anyone
that.
wants to come out and see the guys, everyone will be here. And it's impressive. Some guys are pretty good.
Some guys, they might launch the ball. You can air the ball all the way to the pitch. It's more like a softball.
Francisco Malagoa, I'm just telling you, he's sneaky good at everything. He's good at golf. He's good at bowling. There's just a lot of things. You're like, these guys, when you really get to know them, they can play some things.
Zero surprise.
Yes.
Zero. There are transferable skills in athleticism that go directly to Zeppos.
Yeah,
like all roads lead to Zeppos.
Okay, you're right. Absolutely, it does.
And some guys are just those guys, right? Like, did you ever know that guy who maybe actually wasn't that great at football, wasn't that great at basketball, but was great at, shuffleboard, or darts, or they're those
random.
Some guys are.
It's kind of how you grow up. Like, I'm a dart king.
Are you?
I'm very confident.
Are you that
yes,
guy?
I'm very confident.
Wow.
No 501. That's luck. And we're playing cricket. We're playing double out. We're doing it the right way. I could be in a league someday.
I don't even know what that means.
It's okay. It's okay. And no one else in here does either. But I love it. Yeah, when we grew up, we had a dartboard, and my grandpa got me one when we were in middle school, and man, we play it. And
you're like Ted Lasso. Did you see that up? Are you a Ted Lasso guy?
I'm not a TV watching
guy.
Well,
sorry. Let's do this. Just as some homework for the offseason. We'll come back because I know you don't have time from now to the Apple Cup.
Sure.
Binge Ted Lasso. I'm going to give you 7 months for it.
Okay.
Right? We'll come back. There's a great dart scene.
Okay.
And that's a movie about love and coaching.
I love it.
You're going to love it.
Okay.
You're going to love
it.
I'm in. But there's a dart scene. That I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Coach Dickert.
I love it.
It's great. It's great.
Love it.
All right, let's go into Twitter here. We've got some good vibes in general here on Twitter from our fine folks who participate. Alex, who is a fantastic guy. Everyone talks about when the team comes here to play in the cold, what's it like to take a road trip south to Tucson in November and maintain focus? I think it's supposed to be 70 degrees.
Yeah, 7 degrees, sunny. So we've talked about hydration all week and make sure we're, on top of the elements and understanding that it will be a change for our guys. But when we practice inside, it's very similar, but just to understand that you're going to sweat a little more. The sun's going to be back on your face. Get a little vitamin D.
Yeah.
I think most of the guys are fired up. They're like, let's go. Let's go do that.
Right.
Coach, this sounds great. What are we talking about?
It's like one way is easier than the other, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's easier than going up here.
Yeah, Cam was like, I get to go be in that sun. Let's go do this. Throw the ball around in that air. Let's roll. So I just know our guys are excited about it.
I will never forget last year's fog game against Arizona. I mean, that was epic for maybe the wrong reasons, but you just
it was
incredible.
Epic. It was because I would ask, like, CJ came off, Calvin Jackson. I was like, can you see the ball?
What did he say?
He's like, Coach, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
But like Jahad Woods made an interception on the other side of the field, and I was like, Banker, what happened? He's like, I can't see.
I'm not sure.
All of a sudden, guys came running off celebrating. I was like, we got the ball. It was wild. I don't even know how you did it, or just kinda...
Well, on one of the block punts, quite candidly, and I got it right, I guessed. But I guessed based on reaction. But I could hear it.
Okay.
Because when a guy
noise.
blocks a punt, boom, boom. You get that. And I'm like, he blocked that thing. But I don't know where the ball went.
Yes.
But he blocked it.
Touchdown, Coach.
I know. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't think he has it.
No, it was perfect.
It was great. We'll do a couple more, and then I want to get Big Brennan on here. Right? We're about midway through the show. But Jennifer Delzer asks, how tempting is it for you to how much involvement do you have with Coach Ward from the D.C. perspective, just in general? And is it tempting because, you're from the D.C. side of it, and you go, I want to make this call, versus, fighting for autonomy for him?
Is it tempting? No. During the game, I mean, there's just a certain way that a coordinator needs to prep for the game, to call the game, and I'm below that level, right? I know what they're doing. We've talked about a lot of the situations. I'm very situational. Hey, when we get this, and let's look at fourth downs. What's our third down plan? Red zone, let's make sure we're attacking this way. Hey, what's this adjustment to this? And then, Coach Ward and the defensive staff, together puts together a great plan, and they go out and execute it. And I just feel like maybe more than other head coaches, when I see things, hey, what about getting to this? And then they talk about it. Hey, what do you guys think about this? And just trying to making sure that I'm a resource and not in the way. Because I've been there when you're trying to call a game and there's a lot of people in the headphones and, you're just trying to worried about what's happening in those deals. So I want to make sure, I'm aiding it, not holding it back.
You're also leading the league in points per game allowed.
We are.
It's gone pretty well.
It's been fantastic. And like I said, I said it this week, I get too much credit for it. It's that staff, it's those players, and they've been unbelievable this season with high expectations.
Well, I think we're going to keep giving you credit for it. I think that's part of your burden. Okay. I think that's part of the deal. Hey, head to Chipman & Taylor's website for your chance to enter to win Coug football season tickets and Coug swag for next season. Chipman & Taylor Chevy is located on Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, your hometown Chevy dealer, where everybody gets a great deal. We got to get Big Brennan up here. We got to talk
Jack. He's ready to go.
Big BJ. He had a big hit last game.
Oh, heck yeah. Couple sacks.
Big
that ball went squirting out of there after the sack.
Rocking it out. It was like a cork out of a bottle. I love it. We'll talk to a Big Brennan up next. We'll get Coach back on after that, live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball, getting set for the Wildcats.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Arizona, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo. Touchdown! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Back here live at Zeppo's, we're talking ball. We've got big Brennan Jackson, the big defensive end, the edge, here at Zeppo's, getting set for the Arizona Wildcats off of a fantastic game. It's been a fantastic season for you. I know before this year, you said you felt the best you ever had, right? You've been battling some stuff. You had been. It doesn't look like you're battling anything right now, big guy. I mean, you've been playing some really, really good ball. Is that how you feel as well?
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome having that full offseason with our amazing strength staff. Having battled back from 2 season-ending injuries, I really just wanted to get out there and really work on my lower body, and I think that's definitely shown this year, having more strength to really, bend edges and stay upright and have more, juice in my moves. And it's been a really nice year just being able to showcase what I've done in the offseason.
Yeah, 4th in the pack in tackles for loss. Do you know the stats? Do you guys know your stats? Do players know their stats?
Coach Coop keeps that very locked away.
So you don't know your stats?
It's I kind of, in my head I can think about it, but really we just like to go game by game.
So reading between the lines, you may know your stats, but maybe guys aren't supposed to focus on.
I have an idea. I have a little idea.
Okay, so maybe you do, maybe you don't. But for real, the defensive line, the whole unit, the whole defense, there must be a point when you're in the season, I would guess, where you go, oh, it's working, right? Like we know Game 3, Game 4, right? Colorado State, obviously you guys had a big game. You're teeing off, right? But then you get into pack play and you go, oh, it's still working, and it must be so fun to get out there. You're communicating. You know that all of your stuff is tight and fits and works. It must be really, you must have a ton of confidence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so much fun out there when you know the guy next to you is going to do his job every single time. And, the plays just seem to fall where they're supposed to. And it comes from practice. I mean, every single week we are dialed in on what we're going to see, understanding the situations. Coach Ward's done a fantastic job just upgrading our knowledge of the game, being able to see things on the field and actually have some anticipation of what's going to come. So, like where last year, there's sometimes, we're reacting because defense is reactionary. You're never really going to know what's going to happen, but actually having those cues and saying, okay, we got trips to the left here, there's Y off, okay, I have an idea of what's going to happen. Then you just see those big plays being made. Daion's a phenomenal job at that. I mean, you've seen it on the field all year.
When you are, when you're next to Christian or next to Nusi or next to how long does it take you, because you guys rotate so many guys, does it change communication? Does it make it more complex when you're deeper as opposed to just go, we play these, 6 guys, 7 guys? Is there an added layer, or is it just, everybody knows what their calls are and knows what the deal is?
I think there's 2 things to that. One, everyone knows what they're doing, which is great because then you have so much depth. But also, everyone has such a unique skill set. So when you have all these different rotating groups in there, the offensive line isn't saying the same thing every single play. They're saying, Nusi Milani, how he can rush, and then you have Christian, who's bulldozer, runs over people, and Pule. It's seeing so many different types of rushes that offensive linemen can't get comfortable. And also, we're just so used to playing with each other because this has been 3 years now, having kind of the same core guys, having some guys added in there. But it's just awesome being on the field and knowing that the guy next to you has such an elite skill set, and you do too, and you can kind of play off each other.
Yeah, I remember one of the lineups, it was earlier in the season. I haven't seen it as much lately, but it was you, it was RJ, it was Roth, and it was Edson. And I'm going, it's all, and maybe Ram was in there too. It might have been Stevenson, Falatay, right? I was like, they're trying to get to the quarterback. There's 4 guys in here who are all trying to get sacks. It's just a lot of fun pre-snap because you're going, ears must be pinned back. You're just going in.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I love that package. You look on the field and you see all the guys in your room.
4 edges.
You look on it, it's weird because you're on a run play. It's like, these guys aren't D tackles in there. This is all guys stay up on the edge. But, I mean, it's fun. Passing situation just gives offensive linemen fits.
You've had moments this year where the opposition has missed their assignment. It's happened to fewer than a handful of times. It's not common in the pack for guys to miss assignments. You have made the most of those moments. There have been some big hits. That must be a ton of fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like that's a perfectly blocked play. For me, sure. I love that. However they drew that one up, let's keep it rolling. Let's give it to the next team, And it's funny because it's like a tale of two sides of my brain. it's me going, oh, man, like, that sucks for that guy. You know, like,
do you think
that's tough. And then in my mind, it's like, all right, big play. Here we go. Yeah, that I love those blocking assignments.
Does it
great.
feel slow almost? Like, is it slow motion, like where you're just unblocked? I mean, and also, does it ever feel like something's wrong? Like, wait a minute, why am I unblocked?
Well, yeah,
here?
that's what they teach you is like when you're unblocked, something's going on. There's a screen. But plays like that, when you know someone messed up, because you can kind of see it in the backside, like, oh, he's trying to get me. He missed me, and you just take off. Yeah, and like I said, that quarterback just didn't see me. You know, and how could you? I'm coming from the backside. He's looking the other way. Thinks I'm getting blocked. So, yeah, tough one for him.
All right, speaking of which, you know the quarterback you're going up against quite well, Jayden de Laura. He was here for 2 years. You've gone up against him a bunch. There's a double-edged thing to that. You know what he can do, right? And he can be really, really good. But also you know what he can do and how he does it, right? So it must be interesting defensively. You, R.J. Stone, like, you know exactly what you're going up against, and it's a tall task.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's an electric guy. You know, back there he has such a wide skill set. And obviously we've been here for 2 years, so we've seen it in practice and whatnot. And it's just going to that game plan, having that extra knowledge of what he does and having seen it, just gives us kind of that extra boost of confidence knowing that we know kind of how to stop it. And obviously he's going to make plays. He's a fantastic player. He's a Pac-12 freshman of the year last year, so we know how electric he can be, and he has so many weapons on offense. But I think having that extra knowledge of having seen it for 2 years now, and, you know, just being able to kind of rally him, I think we'll do pretty well in this game.
Now, he's in Tucson tonight saying the same thing. He's like, I know Brennan. Yeah, I know Brennan, and I know RJ. I know how they do what they do, right? So it's unique is what it is, right? It's a unique situation. It's frankly, in a lot of ways, a complex situation in what it is, but also it's just ball, right? I mean, it's just, you're going to get out there, and when you're on the field, I'd imagine the storylines and talking and headsets, that's for me, not for you, right?
Yeah.
You get out there, and it's just playing football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any storyline's going to, you know, people want to see stories, you know, and so when you're out there, obviously it's going to be all over, like, oh, you know, former team. But for us, it's a quarterback for Arizona Wildcats, and for him, it's obviously the edges at Washington State, you know?
What else do they show you? Coach was very complimentary about Cowing, about Singer, about McLaughlin and McMillan. I don't mean to exclude anybody. They're really good. Their offense is really explosive, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. They got some playmakers out there. You know, McMillan, for example, he's a freshman. I mean, what he's doing this year is insane.
Yeah.
You know, and just going against a team like that has such an electric offense, it makes you focus in on your details so much in your assignment. You can't mess up in that kind of game because they have guys you can take to the house every single play. So we've just been really dialed in on understanding what our keys are and just being really sound on defense.
Before we let you go and get Coach Dickert back up here, my understanding is you are kind of an honorary dance team member.
Absolutely.
That's what I was told. Like, that's – and your girlfriend's here laughing. She's on the dance team, and so I think you wanted to kind of publicly say, like, hey, you can do that. Like, you can fit in with that crew also.
Yeah. We've talked about it a lot. I'm actually in negotiations right now with the coach. You know, we're thinking of having something. You know, Washington State football dance team. It could happen. I mean, it's great for our legs. You know, get more explosive movements. Yeah. I think it'd be a great thing, Coach. What do you think of that?
Coach is in. He just gave the thumbs up.
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Deal. All right, so we got defensive end and dance team member Brennan Jackson. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Hey, thank you. Brennan Jackson, great stuff. We'll get Coach Dickert back on live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball.
Awesome.
Hey, Coug fans. Can't decide what to do with your late night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Cougar football lives here.
He's gone at the 20. Nakia Watson, career-high rush day and another touchdown.
The final road trip of the year finds the Cougs in the desert against Arizona.
Crushed by Henley, loss of one on the play. Ball is scooped up at the 20-yard line. Picked up by Hicks.
Kickoff is at 11.
On the run to the 10, touchdown. A scoop and score.
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Show me the money!
That's right, Spokane. The $60,000 Snow Me the Money giveaway is coming to Northern Quest. Bob, tell them what they could win.
Well, Steve, there's 20 grand in cash, plus a chance to spank Old Man Winter with 2 new Polaris snowmobiles.
Don't make it weird, Bob. Maybe just tell them to play daily and visit northernquest.com for details about
Snow Me the Money!
Back here live at Zeppo's talking ball with the head man, Jake Dickert. Brennan Jackson is a great defensive end and a great personality. He's fun to have the headset on. Great kid.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those guys, too. Everyone can see how he works and how serious he takes everything and just how much he loves the game and how much he loves his team and this place and this university. I think it's something special. And when you hear him talk, you're just like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's our energy guy. He's does it through action more than words, and sometimes you appreciate that, and just happy for him and all his success, because I knew the one person that was not being talked about enough coming into this season was Brennan Jackson, and you saw it, the build-up, and I was like, here it comes, and obviously he's had a tremendous last couple of weeks.
No, he's been really, really good. One of the fan asks, Andrew asks, what time's Apple Cup kickoff? We don't know that yet.
Yes.
We'll know that Sunday or Monday, and I forget which day it is.
I'd have to ask Bill, but pretty soon, early next week.
Early next week, we'll know Apple Cup kickoff. I think it's all on the table, too. I think it could be early, I think it could be late. I think that's a whole situation. Did you use, this is another Twitter friend of ours, did you use John Mateer on Scout Team this week to try to simulate an acrobatic scrambling QB with high speed? They recognize how mobile Mateer is.
So very similar, using Xavier Ward.
Yeah.
And X is a really good athlete with a big arm, and same things. We had different scramble drills, and you're trying to simulate. You can never perfectly kind of emulate it, but we try to simulate what it was going to be like, and because there will be plays in this game where our DBs will have to cover for 10-plus seconds.
Wow.
And the hard part is, man, you get it. I got that guy, and I'm following around for 10 seconds. But zones, you drop in. We do a lot of match zone cover 3. When a guy gets in your zone, now we call plaster. You got to plaster to him, and you got to make sure you follow him. And sometimes there can be some holes in that. So we've kind of replicated that, but Xavier Ward was our guy for that this week.
10 seconds is forever.
It is. It's just, like I said, it's an infinite pocket. A lot of guys are going to step up and through, and, the tackle box is the pocket, but it might be 14 yards back. So Arizona's sacks are the highest losses in the country.
Interesting.
So taking very long sacks at times.
Interesting. Yeah, he'll drop way back and do his whole thing.
Yep.
Hey, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. And I don't want to forget to mention, as a programming note, so we'll have the next week's show Wednesday. There's another show we have added. You may not know this. It's the Tuesday after. I don't know. You're always welcome.
With me?
You're always welcome. I'm not sure this one's for you. It's going to have Coach Cammie, Coach Smith, and then Pat Chunna. It's going to kind of be men's hoops, women's hoops, and a bowl preview. We won't know the bowl yet, but we'll talk bowl. We'll talk with Pat. But that's on Tuesday, right? So next week, Wednesday, Apple Cup show. Following week, Tuesday, 6 o'clock. We'll be here.
Okay.
So the next 2 weeks we have shows.
Be here. Be
Wednesday,
Zeppo's. It's gonna happen.
Tuesday. That's right. Then we'll have a long gap, and then we'll do basketball. That's after the new year. So we'll get that schedule out. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. We'll put a bow on it next. Talking ball here with Coach Dickert.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I think you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Cougar football.
Rolling right with the ball, going to throw the long ball down the middle, man open. Watch the end zone, leaping grab, touchdown, and the Palouse is going to pop.
Cougar football from Learfield.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Arizona, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Back here live at Zeppo's talking ball. It's the Cougs against the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific tip. That's noon local in Tucson. They don't do daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Which
Nothing
is great.
Better. No, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
You wake up, you play these games.
And you go.
Man, it's going to be great.
That's what you do. Washington State University would like to thank Crimson and Gray for their continued support of Coug Athletics. Head to bookstore.com to get the latest Coug apparel. That's BKSTR.com. BKSTR, bookstore.com. Position group time.
Yeah, who do we got?
You know, last time I think
we're dwindling down.
I know. Well, we're kind of. I think we're having to rehash.
We are.
I think so. I think we're recycling position groups, but you know, we actually talked about the O-line a good bit. I was going to go O-line. Let's go tight ends.
Let's go tight ends.
We haven't talked a ton about Billy Revere and Andre Dollar and Cooper Mathers, and fans don't yet know Cam Johnson. He's practiced a bunch of, and then you know Moon Ashby's been in the mix at times, right? But it's a group of guys. You know, Billy Revere's caught a ball in almost every game this year.
Yeah,
you know, it's great.
Well, it's an evolving position. You know, that's the one thing I will say as we continue to go, and Billy has given us that experience. You know, he came here from University of North Dakota. He's played. He's that physical guy. You know, he's not that guy that we want to split out and do some things, but, you know, we sneak him out of the backfield. We run him down the sidelines. I mean, we tried to target him on a wheel last week. So the one guy that probably played the best that we've seen him play and was our tight end of the game was Cooper Mathers. You know, and Cooper at this time last year was with me at linebacker.
That's great.
You know, walk on from Seattle and played at O'Day High School and really has bought into this. And he's kind of fought through a little bit of some early injuries, and now he's kind of peaking. And Andre has been up and down just because of the injury stuff, but he's healthy now. He's had a great 2 weeks of practice. So, you know, we have to continue to use their versatility, and I think that's what you're seeing. And Cam Johnson, you know, got here late from a junior college. I think that is a name that you'll be hearing and knowing next year.
Yeah, he's a really good-looking ball player.
Absolutely.
He and Andre Dollar are prototypes.
That's right. That's the big, the long, the length, the size, and more importantly, the versatility.
Yeah.
You know, so before we got Cam was only a wide receiver. He was a big wide receiver. So we only had a couple months to try to get as much size of him as possible. You know, now our strength staff is going to have the full 8 months to really kind of get him to where we need him to be physically, and you know, I think he's going to respond to it.
I'd imagine that's a harder transition than maybe one would give credit for. There's just a whole blocking element to it.
Correct. To go over from that X position to a true H-back, you know, I think it does. And more importantly, a mentality, and that's what we're still working on to be able to kick out DNs in this league. I think is a challenge. I mean, BJ's 265 pounds. It doesn't look like it, right? So there's a challenge to that, but I think where we want to go with that position is being very multiple, where we can be in this 11 personnel set and we're doing all things at high tempo and we don't miss a beat.
It really opens up a lot of options for Eric Morris, play calling wise. I mean, you put that one chess piece back there, it just changes everything.
And I think the biggest thing when I always look at it from the defensive lens, right? When you can be in one personnel and do everything tight end anchored, split out, 10-piece sets, empty, like it causes a lot of things on your call sheet. Like, we got to make sure whatever call is, got to check all these boxes. So the versatility and the multiplicity is where we want to really go with this position, and we're going to continue to build it.
Feels like that's the name of the game for when Eric Morris's vision of this offense comes through. The defense essentially pre-snaps going, we're not sure. I don't know what's coming.
And we've had to sub more personnel-wise than we would like to in the future. So it slows the tempo of the offense down a little bit because guys guys need certain packages to be successful. And I think that's okay now. But as we continue to build, we want guys that are very versatile. And, so right now we're averaging a play every 28 seconds. We'd like to get down in that 25 number and up-tempo just a little bit more.
Interesting how specific that is. So those 3 seconds, you're kind of snapping the fingers a little bit quicker there, right? You're moving a little bit faster.
But it's just kind of the subs in and out, So because, Cooper is more of the H-back. Billy's more of the Y. Andre Dollar can do both. And we're subbing a lot of receiver right now to keep everybody fresh. So when we keep building, we want to play at a little bit higher tempo and sub a little bit less.
When you sub, also by rule, the defense can.
Yeah, and I told even our guys, because there's an art to it, right? Yeah, they sub, but a lot of these guys are walking really slowly off the field. So, there's a little sportsmanship and gamesmanship to it. I think Oregon got in trouble for a little extra gamesmanship in their game. Hopefully they look into that injury. But at the end of the day, there's a little art to some of the rules where you live in the gray.
Yeah, and that one in particular, that sub rule and then maybe late cramping rules, right? However you are going to, wherever that falls in the jurisdiction. There is an art to the coaching element of that too, because essentially by rule, if you bring a player off, they hold the ball. You see the official hold his hands out there. But if there's not a lot of time on the play clock, you can put yourself in a really bad spot.
Exactly. And the one that gets me, and I talk to the white hats and the refs every week I understand the subs, but they don't need to run all the way to where the guy's standing, do the old tap on the shoulder, you're out, and then a slow progression out. There's got to be a substitution process as we keep going. And, in my opinion, Oregon took advantage of a little loophole that if you get a first down because the clock stopped and an injured player, you don't get a 10-second runoff. So I would imagine a new rule is going to be coming out really soon.
I don't think that's the first time that's been exploited in college football.
Absolutely
I don't think they invented that, right?
No, they didn't invent that. They're not that much sharper. It's part of it, and part of the gamesmanship, I think, that we all play a little bit as coaches.
Big one. Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, as always. Coach Dickert, thanks to everybody here, everybody who participated. Great to see the familiar faces, all of our people here at Zeppos. Yes. Jared Prangruber gets us on the air. He's the man behind the camera. Jerry Kylo is the man who gets us on the air here, a producer and engineer. And then back in the studio, Luke Hallett. It's an 11 a.m. Pacific kick and 9 a.m. airtime as the Cougs take on the Wildcats. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.